everyone, so I have started this video about 7 times now and I can't do it, so I'm just going to roll with this very informal intro, but I hope you are all well. I am having a drugstore takeover this weekend. I thought I would talk about some of my favourite new drugstore launches because there's nothing that I love more than to nip into Boots or to Superdrug and just have a good old peruse around the shelves and look for all those little new in stickers. I love doing that. And there are quite a few new things that have come out recently and a few pretty good things as well. So I thought I would go through some of my favourite launches and some of the other bits that are coming out at the moment. So I'm going to get straight into it and I'm going to start with NYX. Now NYX is available in the UK, finally. They stock it in Boots. My local one didn't have it a few weeks ago, then I walked in and it was there, so I think they're definitely coming to as many stores as possible. So new in from NYX are these Ultimate Shadow Palettes, and there are quite a few different colours of these. This one is my favourite and you probably will have seen this in my recent everyday makeup bag tutorial because I've been keeping this in my makeup bag. It comes in so handy because there are so many amazing shades in here. They're all neutrals, of course. I love a good neutral, but I think for every day this is just perfect. And the shadows, they're not the best quality, and that is to be expected from such a reasonably priced drugstore brand, but they are still pretty good. They have a nice buildable amount of pigmentation to them, so you can definitely build them up to look as strong as they look in the palettes, and they last really well too. They're not super buttery, they're not really creamy, but they do stick around for a long time. So that is all you really need from an eyeshadow. So that is the neutral palette. It's called the Warm Neutrals, and they have another 3. This one is the Cool Neutrals, so if you're more of a cool tone kind of person, this one is probably for you. There are some really beautiful shades in here. I love these kind of purpley ones and some really nice golds as well. Personally for me, I don't love cool tones on my skin tone, but I still think this is a beautiful palette. And then this one here is the Smoky Highlight palette, kind of similar to the cool tone one. It is a very cool tone looking palette, but there are a few shades in here that I am dying to try, especially this green one at the top. I love green eyeshadow. When it's done right, I think it can look amazing, and this blue one here and these kind of smokier shades at the top look so nice. And then if you're feeling something a little bit more out there, we have the Brights palette. Now this is just insane. It is so bright, so I'm not sure when I will ever find the need to use this palette, but it's nice to have on hand, I guess, in case I ever need a bright fluorescent blue. And they are so small and compact that they're not going to take up a lot of space in your makeup collection, so I'm going to hang on to this one. So I have a second new launch in the form of an eyeshadow palette, and these are from Tanya Burr Cosmetics. So these are from the new Soft Luxe range, and these are the Enchanted Dream eye palette and the Birthday Suit eye palette. So Enchanted Dream is a slightly more cool toned palette. It has this really amazing rich looking kind of aubergine colour and then some taupes and a more cool tone kind of gold here. So again, if you're into your cool tones, I think this one is amazing. But for me personally, my favourite is Birthday Suit. This is kind of the perfect combination of neutral tones, especially for me. These are all the sort of shades that I reach for on a daily basis, and there's so much potential with this to keep it very natural and very everyday looking, but also because of the glittery colour here, you can really make it quite intense. This shade here in particular I think has been my most used. This one is called Toast. These eyeshadows are so buttery and creamy. They are really beautiful formulas for a drugstore product, so I really like these little palettes. And then also from the new Soft Luxe collection, which I think are the highlights of the whole thing, are these matte liquid lipsticks. Now I am such a fan and a lover of matte liquid lipsticks, so I was really excited to try these out. They come in 3 shades and they're all very pinky based ones. So the first one is Martha Moo. It's a slightly more natural colour, a little bit less bright than the other 2, and it kind of has a little bit of brown in it, a little bit of mauvey tones, and I'm wearing this one today on my lips so you can see exactly how it looks. The second one is Rhubarb and Custard, which is a lot more of a bright kind of corally shade. Really, really pretty if you like a nice pinky corally summer lip. The latest one is Puppy Paws, and this is a very kind of candy floss bright pink. Probably not the most flattering on my skin tone, but I think it's still a very lovely shade. But these 2, Rhubarb and Custard and Martha Moo, are just my favourites. So I've been wearing this one in particular, Martha Moo, just constantly. It's been my everyday go-to shade recently. So with all summer launches, especially summer drugstore launches, there are always going to be bronzers. I think drugstores do like to bring out a new bronzer every time summer rolls around. So I have 3 new bronzers here that I picked up in Boots, and they're all from 3 different brands. So I'm going to start off with the offering from Maybelline this year. So this is the Face Studio NY Bricks bronzer. It has a really complicated name that I can never remember. And this one I think has turned out to be my favourite of the 3 I'm about to show you. It actually looks like you get a lot more in here when it's closed, and then it opens up, and yeah, there's quite a small pan in there. And at first I thought this bronzer would be so yellowy toned and way too kind of orangey looking for me, but I actually love it. I think it's a really beautifully made bronzer. It's very finely milled and it is completely matte as well. So So I've been using this a lot as my everyday bronzer. And then next to it are the bricks part of the palette, which I wasn't too sure about to begin with. At first I thought this was a highlighter, but I don't think it is. I think it is actually a blusher, kind of similar to the Bobbi Brown shimmer brick, but it's still so wearable. I think the combination of the two is just perfect if you want a really glowy, natural looking bronzy summer look. And the second new bronzer launch that I picked up is probably, I have to say, my least favourite, mainly down to the fact that I find it really difficult to use. And this is from L'Oreal. This is the Glam Bronze La Terra. So in this one you have a darker shade of bronzer, a lighter shade, something that looks like a highlight but it is very, very yellowy toned, and then a blush. And I think if this blush wasn't here, it would be a much more easy to use palette, because I like to swirl my bronzer, I like to put my brush in there and not have to really kind of pick out the individual shades. So because these are quite small, it makes that a little bit more tricky. And if you do accidentally dip your brush into the blusher shade, it can be a little bit disastrous because it's a very intense, very bright blusher colour. Other than that, I do think the colour of the bronzer is lovely. I also do like the highlight shade. I think it's probably a little bit too dark for my skin tone, but for anyone with a medium skin tone to a kind of mid to dark skin tone, I think this one would be really lovely. It just takes a little bit more work to pick out the right colours. So the final bronzer offering is from Bourjois, and this one probably comes in the cutest packaging. This is a very summery inspired packaging. I'm going to save you the butchering of the name of this with my terrible accents, but it's basically their chocolate bronzer in a summer variation. And actually I'm still not sure if the colour of this one is any different to the original bronzer that they do in this chocolate form. I don't actually have that one on hand, so I couldn't compare the two. Either way though, I've really been enjoying using this. I think this works best at really kind of bronzing up your entire face. So taking it on a huge brush and just going to town. And I even have been using this sometimes without foundation, and it really weirdly gives a little bit of extra coverage. I find that I don't really need to wear foundation if I have this all over my skin, so I really like that. I think this is a great one to take on holiday, especially in hotter climates if you're going away and you don't really want to pack a foundation. So my last couple of beauty launches, we are going back to lip products, and the first ones I have are from L'Oreal again, and these are the Sexy Balms, and they come in two different versions. So there's the sheer version and then a slightly more pigmented version. Now these pigmented ones are really, really intense, and I think it's always hard to do a pigmented glossy lipstick because I will invariably end up smearing all over my face. But the colours of these two are so pretty, and I just want to show you how pigmented they actually are. So this is the shade 204 Never Stop. It really just goes on in one swipe, and it has such an intense amount of pigment to it, so they are really great if you like bright lips. This one here is 202 Adventure. It's a very blue tone pink, but actually I think it's these two here, the sheers, that have become my favourites, and I've been keeping this one in particular. This is 102 Gossip. This has been in my bag constantly. I've been keeping it in there because it's such a quick and easy kind of throw on, don't have to look in a mirror type shade. So these ones you can't see quite as easily because they are quite sheer, but I really, really like this one just to throw on. And then the last shade here is 104. This one is very similar. I think all the sheer ones look quite similar because they're not as pigmented, slightly more of a natural lip colour. And again, I've been using this one quite a lot. Although there are so many different versions of these lip crayon type things, I think these are quite different in the fact that they are very moisturising as well as being colourful lipsticks. So I do like these ones, and they are from L'Oreal. So the last new launch I have to show you, again, are some more lip products. These ones are quite different though, and these are from Maybelline. They're the Vivid Matte Liquid Lipsticks. And these I really wouldn't call your classic kind of typical liquid lipstick because they actually don't dry down to be completely matte. They're very similar to the Armani Lip Maestros that I've been talking a lot about recently, and I think this is a new formula that's becoming quite popular in that they look kind of matte but they still feel very creamy, and they do move around on your lips. At first I thought that would be a bit annoying, but actually they make for a really, really comfortable long wearing lip product. So they stick around, the colours are amazing, but they definitely feel so much nicer than a really matte, very kind of drying liquid lipstick. So I have three shades here. These are Orange Shot, which is number 25. This is a really intense, very orangey toned red, and I absolutely love this. This one is number 5, which is Nude Flush. Actually probably very similar to the shade I'm wearing on my lips at the moment. It's got that really nice kind of mauvey, pinky undertone. But then this one has been my most used. You've probably seen me wearing this in quite a few videos. And this is number 50 Nude Thrill. And I really like it. It's a very subtle colour for me. I'm not used to wearing such a brownie tone nude, but I've been enjoying it, and I really have been reaching for this one a lot. So those are all the new drugstore launches that I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you like any of those, if you have them or if you've tried them, or if there are any other new launches that you've seen that you think I would like as well. So that is it from me today. I hope you're all having a lovely Sunday, and I will see you all soon. Bye!